Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel for a Sunday. Hope you're doing okay. We got 40 in already. Good to see you. Make sure you hit the like button. And if you're new here, subscribe to the channel. Every little helps, as certain banks say. I hope everyone's had a good week and you're enjoying your weekend at the moment. Let's have a look, see who we've got in the chat already. Just have a quick few hellos and we'll go through things. Pete, hello. Blue Angel. Inspector C. That's Reform BBC. Hello to you. Chris Card in the house. Julie Baldwin, hello. Honesty and Truth, CE, Bleach Demon, Gary Thornbury. This is wonderful. It's all the regulars here. Good to see everyone. Clown World YT, good to see you. And I've one of my friends on YouTube. Go check him out. Does some great videos. Mark and Janice. Blood Nose. Ryan Yard. Good to see you, Ryan, mate. Hope you're well. Anthony P, Stuart Hawes, Pete Wilson, Lindsay, loads and loads of people. Good to see everybody, and I hope you are all well, having a good weekend. Hi, Andy from over the pond, Magic Night TVB. Good to see you. Hope you are well. Now, one thing I want to mention before we get much further into this, I had another milestone. 68,000 subscribers. We're actually up to about 68,200 and something now, so that is great. I really appreciate all your support, and wonderful to see. And keep doing what you're doing. It's great. YouTube have been playing what you would call silly buggers over the last week or so, playing around with money, playing around with viewing, and playing around with likes, dislikes, and comments. I've had people telling me that the comments haven't been showing up. I've had people telling me the likes haven't been showing up. It's been a bit of a weird mixed bag. Hello, Richie. Hope you're good. Hi, Mum. Good to see you in the chat. Didn't call you today. Sorry. Should have done, but didn't get to it. While we're on the subject, I want to get this out of the way very quickly as my mum is in the chat. We had a bit of bad news in the family. You would call it a bereavement this week. My mum lost her dog, Angus. There he is on the screen. Unfortunately, he passed away a couple of days ago or so now. And he had as you can see, he was a West Highland Terrier. And he had a condition called Westy lung, which is particular to that breed of dog. And unfortunately, it caught up with him in the end. Had it for about 10 months, maybe a little bit more. And Mum had to, do the kindest thing, is the way we will put it. Absolutely devastating. He got to 14 and a half. So a bloody good run, a bloody good life. And bless him. May he rest in peace. And I will miss him sniffing around my dinner table on Christmas Day looking for scrap turkey and all the rest of the stuff he used to do. So bless him. Anyway, I won't talk about that too much more because otherwise my mother will be going for the Kleenex. Yeah, lots of sorries there. Sorry, Jean, and all the rest of it. So, yeah, thank you, everybody. I very much appreciate that. I remember him, and he was kind of that big and all ears. But, right, let's move on to the next subject. As you recall, a week ago, I said that I was going to be doing a giveaway this Christmas. And that was a £100 shopping voucher to somebody if they could answer a question correctly. Well, a little bit later on, I will be telling you what the answer to the question is, and I will contact the winner separately. There you go. Thank you, everyone. Mum says. So that's good. Well, not good, but you know what I mean. So, yeah, I will be contacting everybody. Well, the person that won separately, but I'll let everyone know what the answer to the question is later. Don't know what everybody has been doing today. We had a day out. I don't know if anyone's been to Margate. Margate is where I live. Or if you've been to Margate at all or familiar with it, we have Dreamland, and they had a indoor Christmas thing. and this is some of the pictures. We found an old waltzer. They converted some old waltzer carriages into seating. There's my wife and young Jack, Mrs. Cabby, and there they are again. Little selfie with the three of us, and you can see the Christmassy bits in the background. I won't tell you why Jack doesn't look very impressed. And there he is again. So yeah, a good family day out. We had a few hours this morning, and I came back and we got some of the Christmas decorations finished around the house. And yeah, great day. I don't know what other people's preparations are like for Christmas at the moment. We are getting there, and as always, it's a little bit of a mad rush that we will get. Nottingham Pool, the Trotters had a day out there. Laugh out loud, they certainly did. And in honour of the Trotters, you can see my T-shirt there. Andy's Airport Cars Limited and Trotters Independent Traders. I thought I would wear that this evening as we were talking about Dreamland. Yeah, I had a job there actually when I was in my early 20s. And I think everybody I ever knew had a job there in their early 20s at some point. So it's been a mainstay of this area for a long time. You cheeky sod. BB, how did she end up with you? I tell you what, every time a picture of my wife goes on, people always comment that I'm punching above my weight. And that really is great because it makes her really happy and amused. I've had my decorations up since November. You know what? I think we had our decorations up since November as well. My wife likes to get them up as soon as possible. You've got 12th night, haven't you? 12 days before, 12 days after. But she always sticks them up as soon as she can get away with. She loves it. We've got nutcrackers on the front with lights. We've got a Christmas tree out the front with reindeer. We've got something else out the back, and we've probably got more Christmas trees and be on bloody queue. It's ridiculous. I'll tell you what, last year when I was out here, we had the nutcrackers on the garage door, and you could hear them. They were going rattle, 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 rattle. Oh my God. And somebody actually went one time. What the bloody hell's that? Well, the nutcrackers are up again. And I've got a different mic, which is more directional, kind of pointing this way. And I've done something to try and muffle the sound of the nutcrackers. So with a bit of luck, it will actually sort that issue out, this year round. But we'll find out when it gets windy. I already had a bit of a mishap with them. Anyway, let's have a look at a couple of the comments, see who we have got, and then we shall move on. Hi Andy, Inspector C in building. Thanks for shout out for my channel, Reform BBC. Thank you so much. That's perfectly all right. You hit a bit of a milestone, didn't you? Something like 800 subscribers or something like that, which is great. Hopefully we'll get you up to the 1,000 very soon. Kathy, good evening, everybody. I am one of many Londoners who felt all the joy has been taken out of life in the UK. So I moved to Portugal earlier this year. So far, so good. Fantastic. I want to get there on holiday one time. We're going to Gran Canaria in February. Bit of after Christmas sunshine just for the week. Haven't been on holiday for a while, but Portugal is somewhere I'd like to go. And a couple of my son's school friends have actually moved there. I think their mum's father is over there. So they've just up sticks and gone. Fair play to them. If that's what they want to do, fair play to them and see how they get on, whether they stay over there. Mark and Janice, Neil Oliver did a really powerful piece on YouTube, GB News today, about the subject that Parliament refused to debate. The mainstream media ignores. Andrew Bridgen keeps trying on this, though. Yeah, they want to ignore it. They want to pretend there isn't an issue, because to admit there's an issue, could you imagine the floodgates that will be open because of it? It will be unstoppable. So they're never going to admit how complicit they are, because I think there'll be a lot of this that's going to flow out of a lot of bank accounts. Otherwise, it's, unbelievable situation. It really is. I don't quite know what's going to go on there. Everybody was called crackpots, conspiracy theorists, and all the rest of it when it was all kicking off. But you just don't know, do you? What's going to happen now? You see the media. They're not my favourite people at the moment, but they're winding it up. Something chronic, dropping those little buzzwords in that we're all supposed to respond to. And then you see the inquiry and you think, are they distracting us from something else? And then you see other things going on. And it really is a merry-go-round, isn't it? Really a merry-go-round. This is the daily, Sunday chat of Andy The Gabby Cabby. Those of you that have just joined us, welcome. If you haven't done so, give it a thumbs up, hit the like button, and that helps the algorithm spread it about. Let's see if we can get this up to 100 likes as soon as possible, because that's a key figure it seems to like. I appreciate it. Speaking of live streams, obviously we've got Christmas Eve next weekend, which falls on a Sunday, I think. So I probably won't be able to do a live stream on the Sunday. So what we will have, I will either pre-record something to go out, or I will do a live on the Saturday instead. I've got to see what the wife wants to do with Christmas shopping and everything else, and then, plan YouTube around it. What I did last year, I managed to pre-record a couple of things on New Year's, not New Year's Day, Christmas Day, to go out. So, people had a little bit of something, because I know that there are a load of you that are on your Jack Jones, on your Todd. And, you want something to watch, somewhere to go and chat and everything. So I will try and provide that for you. Now, a couple of news articles. Let's see where we start off with, shall we? Yeah, something crazy happened at Tesco's. We had this thing with the bag searches and everything the other day. But this, I thought, was absolutely nuts. Tesco's workers snapped before chasing colleagues through store, threatening to do them over. And you can see what they were doing them over with. Now, apparently there was two involved. God, I've got itch on my nose. A shop worker chased colleagues around Tesco's with two forks and a butter knife before threatening to do them in. Randolph Edwards was abused and assaulted by two co-workers when he snapped and rampaged through the Port Glasgow store with a cafeteria cutlery. The two witnesses hid in a toilet for their own safety while colleagues waited for the police to arrive. Edwards pleaded guilty to threatening or abusive, offensive and possession of a weapon following the incident on January 31st. This has been going on a while. The accused walked past the two witnesses who were also employed at the store and made an offensive comment for no reason to the female complainer. An argument ensued, and at one point the accused shouted, "I'll get up! I'm get up!" Other members of staff approached Edwards and the complainers and tried to calm things down. He made his way to the canteen and returned with the cutlery, pursued the witness around the aisle, shouting at them. Officers attended and found Edwards lying in the middle of an aisle with the items having been removed from him. He was taken to the hospital after suffering injuries in relation to another matter. And what basically happened to him, which is down here somewhere, Edwards, who is no longer employed by Tesco's, probably sacked, sentenced to 18 months of supervision and 180 hours of unpaid work to be completed within a year and a half. So not only do we have the security issues with the supermarkets, we have problems with the staff where they're absolutely falling over themselves. Richie reports UK, Tesco full of temp staff currently. Absolutely. I go to my local Tesco's, and what's happening over there, none of the tills are ever manned. I was in a queue the other day. There must have been, it must have been going all the way back past the bloody freezer compartments. And there was two ladies on there trying to go across as fast as they possibly could. And to no avail. I do wonder whether this is an ongoing problem or there's going to be self-service in there sooner or later. I do not know. Anyway, let's have a look at some more comments, shall we? See how we're doing. Honesty and truth, the usual rubbish on Prime Minister's questions, nothing of interest. I'll tell you what, honesty and truth, I've never found anything of interest on PMQs for a long time. They fire questions at the PM. He never gives a straight answer to a straight question. And most times he just takes the opportunity to slag off those on the other side of the dispatch box, and we're not getting anywhere. I'd rather watch EastEnders, and that's saying something. No, I wouldn't go that far either. Anna Perkins, warning to gentlemen everywhere. Stand well clear of those nutcrackers. Yeah. My wife made one last year, and it's quite a tall fella, about just a little bit taller than the flight of stairs in our house. And he's coming back. He's stored in 2 pieces round at my mother-in-law's for the year. And yeah, he'll be coming back. Angela, hi Andy, I'm okay now. It's good to know, Angela. Haven't seen you around in a while, and hope you're okay. That's good to hear. Terry Cornwall, hello to all from here in Yorkshire, Huddersfield. Good to see you, Terry. Thank you for joining. David L, hello Andy. Some people can't afford to put a light on. Never mind having lights outside your house. Don't. I'd be happy with a tree and a few of the old sparklies, but she goes to absolute town every single year. I'll tell you what, you think I'm bad. There's a lady down the road from me, and I'll have to try and get a picture of it to show you all. I literally looked out of my window one day and I prepared, what the fuck's that down the road? Excuse my language, but that's exactly what came out of my mouth. If you imagine an inflatable Santa Claus, you know these things you see outside the kebab shops, these inflatable things with a wavy arm that reacts to the wind, and it does that as you walk past, as if it's beckoning you in. Well, this bloody great Santa Claus was doing the same thing. He must be 20 foot high, and he stands there doing that. And I can see it out of my window. I'll have to, as I said, I'll have to try and get a snap of it next time I see it. Pretty funny. Bluebells, hello to you. I've been watching GB News since it was launched in 2021. A lot of things have been addressed there, which the BBC will not cover. A lot of common sense spoken, which we don't hear often these days. You know what? I know what you're saying, and I 80% agree with what you're saying, but particularly with what's going on in London, or what was going on in London with Remembrance Sunday, the mainstream media was trying to paint a bad picture of what was going on with particular groups of people in London. And I found, unfortunately, that GB News were using the same language. And I thought, hello, I don't like this. What's this about? But in the main, they do cover a fair amount of stuff that the mainstream media doesn't. And, I scour social media every day. I have people sending me stuff every day, emails, personal experiences that should be in the damn news. Seldom do you see them. It's a crazy old world. Mick, good to see you. Migrants Hotel burnt down last night in Galway. Apparently it was caused by... Jesus Christ, I've heard it all now. I did see that one, Mick. I was umming and ahhing about when I was going to cover it. I'll probably bring it out day after tomorrow or something like that. But I've learned the hard way. When you see something, you think, how dare they? Or how could they? Or how did that happen? There's a tendency to jump on it and, make a story of it, but inevitably there's more to it, so you have to wait and see. Ryan Yard, a lone Christmas day, but got my little one Boxing Day. That's good to know, Ryan. Good to know at least you'll have him on Boxing Day. Is he staying with you for a couple of days, or just that day on its own? I mean, there's loads of people that are going to be on their Jack Jones Christmas Day. Some are okay with it, some are not. Uh, I remember those days, and I hated them being on my own Christmas Day. All right, I went for Christmas dinner around my parents, but I went home to an empty flat. No fun. So I do feel for people in that position, but some people do it by design. No, not good though. Not good. No one should be alone at Christmas. That's for sure. And in America, you have Thanksgiving, don't you? Which is something else entirely. And again, if you're in America, you shouldn't be alone on Thanksgiving either. It's not good. Tony, no live on Sunday. You're going part time. If it was down to me, Tony, I would be out here. But with Christmas Eve, be it falling on the Sunday, usually we end up with a load of stuff to do at last minute. So we've got to see what happens. All right, one more comment. We'll have a look at some more news. Pete, Sunday. Yes, great guess who will be in hospital Sunday. And a darn MRI scanner at Thorpe. You? Oh, hope it's nothing serious. Keep us posted and best wishes to you. Yeah, I had one of those fairly recently because I've got a problem with my neck and my shoulder. I've got some physio coming up on the 22nd, and hopefully they can sort it out for me. But I hate them damn tunnels; they're awful things. Right, someone mentioned the energy companies earlier, and I just want to cover something that I saw. Julie Baldwin says 14 more likes to reach 100. So yes, if everyone can hit that like button, let's get us over that milestone. I would appreciate it very much. Yeah, I'm bringing a video out tomorrow where I read that the energy cap is going to be increasing by £16. And I thought, oh, come off it, and it's to cover bad debt. But I did see this on GB News as we were talking about it. Prostate issue. Oh my God. Well, Pete, I hope it's nothing too serious and they can sort you out. All the best to you. British Gas are doing something. Not quite sure what they are doing, but here we go. They announced plans to help Britons tackle soaring energy bills. Offering an energy bill support scheme with pop-up services for Britons ahead of Christmas. The scheme will be available, let's get rid of that bloody advert, will be available at post offices across Britain to help hundreds of people who are struggling with bills until March 2024. The pop-ups have been rolled out to more than 120 events to provide free and confidential access to money and energy advice, as well as access to energy debt grants. They have them anyway. The British Gas Energy Trust launched a scheme after research found more than half of the people surveyed said that their mental well-being would improve if they were more financially stable. Well, of course it would. It takes a great deal of pressure off. Jessica Taplin, British Gas Energy Trust executive, said department money stresses are debilitating, which is why we're delighted to be offering British Gas Energy Trust funded money and energy advisors in post offices across the country. She added that through the pop-ups, people can access independent, holistic support so they feel more confident to manage their circumstances moving forward. Nick Reed, Post Office Chief Exec, said post offices have been a lifeline to their communities during the cost of living crisis, where people come to top up their prepayment meters, collect energy bill support grants, manage their household bills, yada, yada, yada. So the long and short of it is that British Gas apparently will be providing some support to get people through the hard times, the hard winter times, up until March 2024. Hopefully that will be around that will be around other places or around enough places that people will benefit from it. I mean, there's stuff you can do like getting on the priority services register, and I think some of these people will turn around and say, "Oh, turn the lights out," or "Don't keep the heating on for so long," and all this business. That's no bleeding good in this time. It isn't. I mean, the tack I'm taking is basically make an offer, pay what you can, as long as you can, and stick to it. That's all you can do. All you can do. Right, let's go back to the comments, see what people are having to say. Oh, before I do, there's an interesting video I did, I think 2 days ago now. My video schedule was a bit skewed over the last couple of days with other commitments like work and stuff. I put a video up about a young lady who's got cerebral palsy, who is in a wheelchair, and she couldn't get to her electricity meters to actually read them. And she ended up with a stonking great bill. It was disgraceful, the amount they were asking, something like 4,700 quid. And you know what they did? Put smart meters in. And apparently that was the solution to the problem. And there was an interesting debate I started on one of the videos. Is that the right solution? Would you want to have seen differently? And that did go in a peculiar way, I shall say. So let's have a look at some of these other comments. BBR, them self-scan are crap. I'm fed up with people calling the staff over as the scanner has problems. I'll tell you the other thing as well. I mean, yes, they do have problems. Also, there's lots of reports of people using the self-scan and then getting jumped on by security. I've got another video coming out about that tomorrow as well. Wanting to see a receipt, not believing that they paid for anything. And also, when I went to the local co-op with my son earlier, and I bought some beer, and he says, "Are we going to go to the self-service desk, Daddy?" And I said, "No, we're not, because that bloody thing, I want to know how old I am. I want to talk to someone with a brain and a head and, you know, a bit of common sense. And they'll know I'm 21 and can drink." I can't be doing with them. And if we use them, they're going to put people out of work eventually. Mark Evans, Tesco. Just bought the co-op in my town. Never anybody serving the co-op. Looks like Tesco's is the same. Yeah, same shit, different day, isn't it? Hi, Andy. What does Jack want for Christmas? Well, Jodie, that's a funny one. You know, a couple of years back, I could answer that very easily. But now he's 10 years old and he's starting to show signs of being a teenager very, very rapidly. And it's turned into, well, clothes, fashion, expensive technology, all this kind of stuff they see their mates having and they want it too. And the attitude and the lip and everything else starts too. I've already got one teenager. It looks like I've got another one in training. But yeah, I think to answer the question seriously, Jodie, clothes really. Frugal Stew, I hope you're well. I have been following your news, and I'm sorry to hear of your recent bereavement. And good to see you popping in to say hi. Be well, my friend. Another good YouTuber there. Go check him out, Frugal Stew. Mark and Janice, Nigel Farage always answers questions in a straight manner. He never dodges them. Well, that's what we want, isn't it, Mark and Janice? You know, when I say what colour's the sky, I don't want to know what the Labour Party said last week, and therefore it's something else entirely. I just want to know it's grey, cloudy, and shitty. You know, absolutely. That's what we want. Anna Perkins, Maya Toosie has been doing great coverage of the London issues of late. Yes, he has, Anna, very much so. And I do worry how close to the mark he gets, because, you know, there's certain things that YouTube doesn't like you talking about, and he does get quite close to the wire. How he's not quite tripped over it, I don't know. I mean, I've got a YouTube strike myself, which expires very soon, I hope, where I did something completely innocently a few months ago and got banned for a week. They're very, very choosy, very choosy. You have to be careful. But there we go. Speaking of other YouTubers, I've had a couple of people asking me if I know what's happened to Simon Webb, History Debunked. Apparently, he's done a bunk. He hasn't been seen doing anything online for a few days. I don't know. I follow him. I'm not in any kind of personal contact with him in any way, shape, or form. So I don't know. iFunction history debunked has been put on the naughty step now. Is that confirmed? iFunction. I assume it is. If you've got the information, if he has, I've got an idea what video that was about. His last one. Go look at his channel and you'll see what I mean. I'm not mentioning that name here. Really don't want to do it. Terry, Andy, could you please give me an update as to what is happening with the Blade Runners, ULEZ, and Evil Khan? I want to start coming to London again. Well, we're at a bit of an impasse, really. I mean, the Blade Runners are doing their thing, and I'm led to believe that one of them has been jailed. I might be wrong. I need to substantiate that statement I've just made, but I think one of them has. And I have information, and it's very frustrating. I have information about something potentially very big that's going to happen regarding TFL very soon, which could well please a hell of a lot of people. The problem I have with this information, I cannot say a word about it at the moment. I'm completely forbidden. And if I open my trap and told you, one, I would be betraying a trust, which I don't do, and two, it could stand to jeopardize something which could benefit millions of people in the long run. So right now, and I'm sure people will understand, I can't say anything, but there is something very, very big, quite seismic, in fact, coming down the pipe. iFunction, no, it's an assumption. Yeah, I'm assuming that as well. It's an easy assumption to make. Let's hope. Well, let's not hope it's that. Let's just hope it's not something more sinister. Let's hope he's back within a week and he's producing content again. Nottingham Pool, National Grid produce the power, cable it to your house, then Eon act as the middleman and sell it to us to make a profit. Yeah, I did the video, didn't I, the other day where I said I'm old enough to remember the rates, where you just had an amount you paid and that was it. None of this privatisation nonsense that we have now, and none of the problems that go with it with shareholders. You know what happened with Thames Water? They're in a lot of trouble. Nearly a £200 million loan payment, and they're not going to meet it. How do you explain that one away? Yeah, Nigel, I hear Thames Water are nearly 15 billion quid in debt. Absolutely. Absolutely. And they can't service those debts. And when a company can't service those debts, they should be wound up, well and truly. BBR, energy suppliers are milking us, as always. Their CEOs don't have any problems paying their bills. I mean, there was another one the other day. Somebody emailed me and said they've been offered a fantastic deal with Octopus Energy. But the problem was they had to have a smart meter installed. That's the only way they get the deal. What? Okay, right. Foxtrot Oscar. But eventually, of course, there is documentation there saying that we could be forced. Reform BBC, Andy, you're never alone. When people subscribe to your channel, great community of people. It's a great community of people. It really is. And I enjoy doing this every single day, bringing the content, doing the lives. I think it's wonderful. I have noticed lately a rise of what I would call, well, dickheads who sit behind a keyboard and decide they're going to leave some kind of comment which isn't that polite. They either get barred or they get ignored, or every now and again I bite back. I very much enjoy biting back sometimes, but it doesn't happen a great deal. But, in the main, you're all lovely, all of you. But I just won't put up with any nastiness or bull. If I see it, you're gone. I want this community to be what it is, what it always has been. Jason Hughes, hello to you. Good to see you. I hope you're well. Right, next bit of news, and then we'll have a couple of more comments. I'll tell you the answer to the competition question and what's going to happen next. Right, we mentioned profit and companies and everything earlier. Have a look at this. I was very struck by this news article. Michelle Monet says not a crime to lie to the press about 60 million quid contract profit. Well, not crime to lie to the press, maybe not. She's finally admitted to lying to the press that she stands to benefit from controversial contracts between the government and a firm during the pandemic. The Conservative peer and Ultimo lingerie founder previously conceded she made an error in denying her links to MedPro, which is led by her husband. The couple were accused of lobbying Westminster, resulting in the company receiving £200 million in taxpayers funded contracts in the height of the crisis. She admitted to lying over and over again about being a beneficiary, and the financial trust holds £60 million of profit from the deal. In her first major broadcast interview since the scandal emerged, she insisted that lying to the media is not a crime. What makes me laugh about the media is when you lie to them, they hate it. When they feed us bullshit on a daily basis, we're supposed to swallow it. Instead, she said that her and her husband have been made scapegoats for the failings of the whole thing. Appearing on Sunday, she said, of course she stands to gain if my husband went before me. I'm a beneficiary as well as his children and my children. Lady Monet also claimed she was not trying to pull the wool over anyone's eyes. Well, only the presses. You just admitted you lied to them. I did make an error in saying to the press I wasn't involved. Hindsight is a wonderful thing. I wasn't trying to pull the wool over anyone's eyes. I'm sorry for not being straight. Millions of these things were supplied, never used. A couple insists they were supplied in accordance with the contract. Yada, yada, yada. So there you go, another person with questions to answer. It does get me there. Hard Tulip, the Conservative member of the House of Lords, has gotten a big fine for the scandal. It would be nice to hear you talk about that. I'm still nervous about talking about that because at the time when you did talk about it, lots of people getting booted off YouTube for a week at a time for talking about it. But I suppose we're a little bit free now. I mean, the scandalous thing, I mean, I had a look at this 3 years ago. I started this YouTube channel and I started doing a lot of research into what was going on and why it was going on. And I remember having a look at the government portal where you could bid on government contracts, and they were literally bids of millions and millions of pounds for various things. And a lot of this stuff either didn't get used, ended up in a bloody great warehouse for the next 18 months, or passed its sell-by date, no good, and ended up in landfill. And in that instance, £200 million. Where is the sense in that? Whose money is that? Ours. Taxpayers' money. It beggars belief how we get away with it. Now, this ties into the fact that I believe that the system is completely and utterly shot. We've got a possible general election next year. I believe that's so. I mean, we've got the cost of living payments being brought forward to February, which tells me they want to free up the time a little bit later in a couple of months down the line to get the election out of the way. And we've got all the same spiel, haven't we? A vote for reform is a vote for Labour. Don't vote anyone else but Conservative because Keir Starmer. They're telling us we've only got, the two choices. Again, it's the same thing. Again, I hate it. Every 4 years, I hate it. And unfortunately, there's not a big enough, anything with a big enough strength and anything with a big enough clout to change it. And there's not enough people in the country, in my view, are woken up to the fact we can change it with that slip of paper and that pencil. And until that day comes, it really is a horrible situation to be in. Joe Jordan Jojo. I'll call you Jojo, all right? Biggest theft from the taxpayer in British history. Absolutely. Makes income tax look like chicken feed, doesn't it? Absolutely. This is the Sunday chat with Andy The Gabby Cabby, everybody. Just got a little bit deep there for a second. Thank you very much for joining me. Good to see you all. If you just joined us, hit the like button. Let's get those thumbs up going a little bit. One thing I've noticed lately with channel subscribers is they keep fluctuating a little bit. And I do believe that YouTube is playing silly buggers. So if I can just remind you, if you've been subscribed for a while, make sure you still are, particularly if you've got problems with notifications or anything of that nature. It's always good to keep up with it. Thank you very much. Couple of extra comments, and then I'll tell you what the answer was to the competition. Jason Hughes, evening to you, even though it's taken me 41 minutes to get there. Ian Williamson, I have a gas electricity smart meter, but last 2 quarters they've asked me for readings. No problem, but it's supposed to be automatic. I've heard that a lot, Ian, to be honest with you. You know, you can have these things put in dumb mode, or sometimes they have problems communicating. Full stop. Hello, Factual Breakdown. Good to see you. And exactly, hit the thumbs up. And our mutual friend is doing okay, by the way. And I know you'll know what I mean by that. Saw him the other day. Going to go see him Christmas Eve and drop him off a Prezi. Andy, can you please put the link to your Rumble channel in here? I don't have a Rumble channel. I was going to have a Rumble channel, but I don't. But somebody has created a Rumble channel pretending to be me, pinching my videos and profiting on them. I don't know who they are or what they are, but somebody's doing it, and I haven't a clue. You know, I even get comment replies telling me that, you know, somebody on Rumble has, you know, made a comment to a video I never published. I'm a little bit, what is going on? But I'm even on TikTok. Yes, I'm even on TikTok. And I've never set up a TikTok account in my life. So somebody is playing dafties somewhere. Paz has the same trouble. I was talking to him the other week, and he said someone's done it to him. Someone put one of his videos on TikTok without his permission. It went viral. Go figure. Bluebells, I never used to be interested in watching or listening to the news until 2020. Later on that year, I came across some podcasts and heard people thinking the same thing that I have been questioning. You know, it was a funny time. Just like that, click of the fingers, everything we knew, everything we were just suddenly stopped. And we're like, what the hell's that? I mean, where this YouTube channel started, I took myself out to the garage because I knew YouTube was a thing. And I sat on a stool just over there and started recording little videos, giving my thoughts and opinions. I suppose it was a coping mechanism, really. And when I investigated what was going on, I actually found there was a lot of people doing the same thing, a lot of people with frustrations, I suppose, about what was going on and not knowing what was around the next corner. And you all kind of club together and start working at it and digging, looking under stones and realizing that what we're being told isn't necessarily the truth of the matter. And it's just snowballed from there, really. And there's literally loads and I mean, you look at this channel, over 68,000 subscribers. Paz, 66,000, I think he's just passed. Nice one, buddy. Same thing. Little groups of people all over the place with similar views, and we just want to hear truth. We want to talk about it, and we don't want to get spoon-fed multimedia bullshit anymore. Mainstream media, rather. It's, yeah, great. Anyway, competition time. Last week, I said that I would put a competition question up with multiple choice, something about me. And the winner of the question, or the person that got it answered correctly, at random would be picked, and they would win a £100 shopping voucher. Now, this year, I'm not going to announce the winner. I'm going to do that privately because um, I didn't think it was fair putting their name in lights last year, although they did identify themselves this time round. So I'm going to do it in two parts. I'm going to tell you the answer, and then I will contact the person in private and sort it out with them. I've already picked a winner, by the way, but I'll deal with that later. So let's bring the question up. The question was, I have a son called Jack. We were not always going to call him Jack. What was his original name going to be? Please indicate your answer in the comments and your preference of shopping voucher. This will run until Friday, and the winner will be picked at random, contacted over the weekend. The choices were Max, Richard, Lewis, James. For anybody who picked James, you'd be wrong. That's actually the name of one of my son's school friends. For anybody who picked Lewis, you'd be wrong. Lewis is the name of my other eldest son, 19. Anyone that picked Richard, you'd be wrong. Richard is my middle name. So the answer, of course, is Max. Now, the reason we didn't choose Max in the end, and this is a bit of a trivial one, Max is obviously the name, and my last name is Gifford. Andy Gifford. Max Gifford sounds very similar to Max Clifford. And it was actually my sister at the time that said, you don't want to call him Max, and told us that. And we thought, oh shit, yeah, we never thought of that. So we decided not to call him Max. And it was actually Lewis that come up with Jack. But there you go. So it is Max. And the person who has won that will be contacted by me either this evening or first thing in the morning to actually make the arrangements to get the voucher to them. So congratulations. And we shall run the same thing again next year. The other thing I'm going to do as well, possibly New Year's Eve, I've got some mugs and some T-shirts left over. So I'll probably try and do a little secondary giveaway and get rid of some of them as well. So that'll all be cool. Absolutely average. Russ, where you been? Evening, Andy, all in the chat. Sorry I'm late. I hope all are well. Yeah, everything's fine. I got some popcorn in the other day. I thought I might be needing it very soon. Salted is my flavour. Speedily done in the microwave. Looking forward to it. Jody, Andy, the Tory politician, went into Labour, but they had managed to save the baby. Laugh out. Oh dear, oh dear. That footballer yesterday, hey? I take it you're thinking the same thing I am, huh? Seems to be a lot of it. Hopefully they'll be all right. Dog. Hi, Andy from Holland. Wow. Excellent. This is a great thing about this, isn't it? We're getting everywhere. Anthony P, I have a staff member who's homeless. Temporary accommodation looks shocking. She has to pay for it. Oh, my God. Hopefully, is that something the council sorted out? Or is that something they've had to do themselves? And I hope they get sorted. Somebody mentioned Doctor Who. Have you seen the Doctor Who Goblin song video? It's on YouTube, showing on Doctor Who Christmas. Disgusting, from the BBC. I'll tell you what, Helen, I won't watch it. And it's a shame because I've been a fan of Doctor Who since I was 2 foot high. I've loved it, but I was very disturbed by a couple of the things that came out in the script in some of the Christmas specials. And at the end of the day, it's a kids program. All right, adults watch it too, but it is a kids program. And I thought, I don't really want the children having this kind of thing forced down their throat. and you know what we're talking about here, wokey cokey type stuff. And I thought, no, it's unacceptable. It really is. And what disturbed me was I read a news article which where they interviewed the new doctor, and is it Nakuti Gatwa? Apologies if I mispronounce the name. But he was saying that anybody, or the gist of the article was, anybody that has a criticism about him or his performance is racist. And the word racist was mentioned 3 or 4 times in the first couple of paragraphs. Now, this is an instant defense to that way of thinking. If you have a criticism, you're right. It's lost the true meaning of the word. It has done for a very long time. Now, I had criticisms of David Tennant's performance. Does that make me racist? Last time I looked. When are people going to realise we're all made the same way? And the other thing, he openly admitted that he lives in a very left liberal space, and that's very much going to be coming through into the show. And I'm like, well, I don't live in a left liberal space. I live in, another world. It might be the normal world. It might be something else for all you know. But I'm afraid I'm not very impressed with that. Hard tulip, exactly. I didn't want to say it, but that is exactly what has happened. Exactly what has happened, and I can't be doing with it. You see, Christopher Eccleston did an interview as well, and they said, what would make you come back to Doctor Who? And he made a very pointed response: sack the guy that's they've brought back. The head honcho. He just didn't agree with him. Russell T Davis, sack him, get rid of him. He'll come back. I understand Christopher Eccleston didn't get on very well with that whole setup. So anyway, enough of Doctor Who bashing. A few more comments, and we'll wrap up proceedings for the evening. Reform BBC, Andy, would advise you putting your own watermark on vids. Then it's your copyright, and you can sue them if you use without your permission. Doesn't work. I went through a period of doing that. I haven't been for a long time, but I went through a stage where I was heavily trolled, and I had people stealing my footage, stealing my thumbnails, and making a very distorted view of what I did and who I was. And I tried repeatedly to do things about it. Nobody listened. So it's, you can't. And not only that, people that do this sort of thing don't reveal themselves. They don't let you know who they are or where they are. It's not great. I mean, if people want to use my BBC, let's get rid of that license. Absolutely. If people want to use my footage for any reason, I don't in principle have a problem with that. But at the end of the day, I spend a lot of time doing this. Just a bit of courtesy. Drop me a mail and say, Andy, you've done a couple of minutes clip or a 30-second clip. Can I use it? No problem. I mean, I had a falling out of a guy behind the scenes. I found he used, I think it was 30 seconds of my video. With YouTube, you're actually allowed to, because it's a fair use policy. But I thought, well, I've done that. You haven't. You never asked. So I got the ump. It was all resolved eventually, of course, but, long and short of it, watermarks don't work. Graham Nash. Ooh, I love a mug. Well, we'll see what we can do about that. Absolutely Average has one of my mugs. I've got, I think, about 4 or 5 left, so I'll see about getting rid of some of them, definitely. Malcolm Jones. Have you seen Dr. John Campbell about how we are being signed up to the agreement next year, giving away a lot of our rights by the government? I know about it. I know about it because somebody sent me a diagram about it, and it was quite horrific what was going on with that diagram. I thought, holy Dr. John Campbell, I think, is a genius because he knows exactly how to play the system, doesn't he? He knows exactly how to play the system, knows what to say and not what to say to keep himself on air. And it's absolutely brilliant. I watched one of his videos of a few days back. I thought, is he saying what I think he's saying? He was agreeing with the narrative, but not agreeing with the narrative, so to speak. You know, it's it was grand. Jody, Andy, you should put more content on your other channel. Yes, I should. I keep meaning to. I've got another YouTube channel, folks, called Aviation Andy. In the background, I have several interests. You know, so some I can talk about, some I can't. But one of my interests is aviation. I love everything to do with airplanes. So I have another YouTube channel called Aviation Andy. I don't know if you can stick a link in the chat, blood, for me. That'd be great. And it's just about aeroplanes. Now, I have certain things I want to achieve with this channel, and that distracts me from trying to grow the other channel. I know loads of YouTubers have more than one channel, and that's my second one. So, yeah, if you could subscribe, and I will go and try and do something with it at some point. What I'm doing at the moment, I'm just uploading a YouTube short once in a while just to keep it ticking over and make sure it doesn't get overloaded, deleted, removed. That's what I meant. There you go. Thank you, blood. YouTube.com/Aviation Andy 1978. So if you could do that, that'd be cool. Watching always. I remember you said you did a rumble, didn't know how to put videos there, so you didn't. No, I had a brief look at it and gave it up as a bad idea. So I just left it there. And for some reason, someone else has got a rumble channel with a load of my videos on it. I don't know whether the one I put has been hijacked or what's gone on. I don't know. I really don't. I'd love a mug too, Anne-Marie White. Well, we'll see what happens. Hopefully we can do something about it. I've only got very minimal numbers left. Blue Angel, a T-shirt would be nice. Again, I've got minimal numbers left. I'll have to have a count up and try and do something around New Year's time. Graham Nash, wonder if the Beeb will have a Dr. Webb next. Quite possibly. Stranger things have happened. They really have. What's that one? Pete, do you watch Mike Patton? No, I don't, Pete. I don't, I'm afraid. Is that on YouTube? I'll give it a search up. Let me know. Jody, please put some more of my aircraft drawings on that channel. I've got so many emails from you, Jody. I am very remiss doing that. I don't know if you've got some recent ones that you can send over to me. I'll try and put them into a short and get that uploaded. I'll try and make that the next one if you can do that for me. Absolutely average. Tea tastes better from Andy's mug. Amongst other things. You ain't got any whiskey in there, have you? That's what I'm going to do when I go back in. I'm going to have a couple of whiskies. Oh, Andy, how about an auction on the merch for charity of your choice? We'll have to do something for charity, won't we? Definitely will. One where the managing director doesn't get £180,000 a year. That'd be good. I wouldn't set up a charity myself, or only just giving myself, because there's a lot of people out there that set up fake charity pages, collect the money, pretending to be for a charity, and they pocket the proceeds and piss off with it. And I wouldn't want to be tarred with that brush. So I would do it through an organized whatever. I know YouTube has a whole mechanism for that, so might be worth looking into it. You never know. Anyway, everyone, it's time to go. I've got about 30 seconds left to the hour. Just want to say once again, I think we've had maximum couple of hundred people watching tonight, which has been cool. Thank you very much for coming along again. This will be the last Sunday live stream live with me this side of Christmas. Next weekend, what I'm going to do is there will be a live. I will either do a pre-record on, which will come out Sunday, or I'll do an actual live on the Saturday instead, whichever. We will see what happens. There'll be videos out all week as per usual. I'm going to pre-record some stuff for Christmas Day to come out, because there's going to be people on their own that are going to want something to watch. So I'll do something there, and then I'll be around on and off in the gap between Christmas Day and New Year's. And I will definitely do a live of some description on New Year's Eve before I go and get pissed, which will be the thing. Anyway, again, thank you very much. Thank you to everybody who's leaving wishes. Merry Christmas to you all if you don't make it back. And those of you that gave condolences to my mum, as Russ has just done, thank you very much. Again, very much appreciated there. Very shocking, quick, horrible loss. And yeah, not nice. So again, thank you. And I bid you adieu, followed by toodaloo.